Thank you, Rafa. And sorry, Matt, I was just checking my notes, and I am currently destroying you in fantasy, as well as having a great time casting with you in this series.
Well, you know, TJ,
Mm-hmm.
I admit that I don't do great at NALCS Fantasy League because my focus is truly here on these fantastic teams in the amateur scene, and I just don't have time for worldly pursuits like the LCS. It's just...
You know, that makes a lot of sense, because of course I can keep track of all the LCS players and draft a really good team and also be a great caster here in amateur, but I understand that I'm above average, right?
Of course. Of course.
Welcome back.
Exactly
It is time for game number 4. SolaFide on their tournament point, at least for Barrage. Barrage, if they lose this, will be knocked out. They will be out of the tournament altogether. Just like Matt may be out of our fantasy league if he goes 0 for 3. SolaFide on the opposite side. If they win this, they're through to finals playing against no org.
Look, Finn just isn't doing great for me. That's all it is.
That is not all it is. He has like 6 FlyQuest members. It is not a good time.
Jose Diodo and Palafox are great.
Everyone else on FlyQuest. It's a bad time. Barrage do stick with the bans. Oh my lord, Matt. I've never seen this before. It's a Rel. Oh, it's EF again. Oh, a Galio again. Nothing too exciting.
Wow! I am so shocked by the amount of adaptation in the picks and bans.
Hey,
That being
Seraphine.
0.
This really is a run back. So, how are you gonna change your fantasy this week?
You can change your fantasy?
No, it was just filling for time. If only you could.
Well, because I thought I had heard someone else say that,
You
which
can
may
get
have also been in
trades
jest.
if
Like, I
you
feel like
want.
there are subs you can take or something.
Yeah, you could convince somebody to take a FlyQuest member, man. I don't know how you would do that.
I'd never lose them. I'd never give them up.
The first
Shout out
pick
to my
is
boy
gonna be
Palafox.
the Udyr for Winston.
I'm shocked.
Still hovering that, still teasing us with that. Barrage have the same consistent problem now across all the games we've played so far. They don't have enough engage. And what changed that was exactly that. The Orianna coming through in mid lane from APA gave them the ability to reach into the opposing backline and force fights. SolaFide, if you don't force them to fight, won't take anything.
Yeah, they've been playing just these late game scaling bottom lanes that don't really like to engage. They just like to sit until they get into a team fight. Then you have Winston and Zeyzal going in, stunning people, slowing them down, and that's how they've been winning these fights. But Barrage now, with the Orianna Hecarim combo, should be able to force some fights out of their own.
Check that out. Tuesday's Victor meets the Rift. That's good. Tuesday does have a really stellar Victor, but it defaults him to a more passive role than we've seen in previous games. This is what I expected out of Tuesday. But he has been breaking that expectation with a series of very aggressive games. So, SolaFide falling back into their default. You can expect, I think, some carries drafted down in the bot lane for Apollo and Zeyzal. They're perhaps anticipating that their TK Senna will be banned out and saying, okay, let's just play this super traditional down in the bot lane behind a solid front line from this Gnar, from this Udyr, from hard tank that's going to be drafted for Zeyzal. We will play a traditional AD carry.
And of course, just like you said, Barrage banning out that Tahm Kench. Nothing to see here. I think banning the Tahm Kench is a better idea than banning the Senna. I maybe would have gone there first, but I understand why Barrage went for Senna than Tahm Kench. Because he found out Zeyzal's just really good at playing Tahm Kench and winning through it.
Yeah. Further bans by SolaFide, they're getting rid of support pool now. Taking things away from Winter. We did also see a Xayah ban out. Before we hit the final phase of bans, Matt, I also want to touch on the fact that we get Camille in the top side for PCL, and we have that Hecarim Orianna Wombo combo yet again.
I'm interested to see this Camille from PCL, because I remember the very first series these two had here in the PGC this year. We saw PCL's Camille and it wasn't fantastic, but the team as a whole has improved massively since then. So I'm looking forward to the redemption here for PCL's Camille, and I suspect it'll be pretty nice to have against that Gnar.
Okay, so we do get this Jinx in. This is what we've seen every game so far from Gorka, no reason to change it up. But that means that this bottom lane has counterpack. Oh, Gragas support. That's like not crazy. Zeyzal's done that. Impress me. Give me something spicy.
Do it.
That's all right. Hey,
fine.
Apollo getting a character he's damn good at. Apollo getting another character that can hard carry behind the Gragas. That will free up the Gragas as well to roam, which is kind of necessary with Victor, who is a little bit more vulnerable to ganking. Barrage will rightly go for this Leona. That would give them the potential to lock down that Ezreal as well when the Ezreal is left alone in lane, as well as roam up and, yes, threaten the Victor again. I think overall, oh, don't do that for me. Okay, no, I'm sad. The Braum is fine, but I wouldn't have drafted it.
I mean, it works with Jinx because she has an attack speed steroid, so you can get the stuns out pretty quickly. But yeah, we haven't been seeing a ton of Braum, and I think it's for a reason. The other engaged supports tend to be fulfilling their role a little bit more consistently.
Okay, as the support mate, I will say I like Braum right now. Braum's really good. I just liked the Leona more because, again, Barrage have been suffering for engage. Barrage have been the team that is desperately trying to force fights and haven't been able to lock anyone down for long enough to confirm the kill and win the game. And Leona, for that hot second, gave me that, where I was like, damn, Matt, they're going to draft the Leona, they're going to get real aggressive during the mid-game. Barrage are going to be able to force the fights they want. And we get Braum instead.
So I do want to say, though, I think Braum is better this patch. He did get a little bit of a buff on his R cooldown, I believe it was. So he is improved, but I do agree that the hard engage is something that they have traditionally been lacking, and especially now that there's a Gragas, PCL's Camille can just get knocked out of her hookshot wall dive by the Gragas, and that is really their long-range engage outside of Fnatic. Like, those are your two options for initiating a fight at this point, and Zeyzal shuts down at least one of them.
Well, also APA, because that was the saving grace when we saw Barrage play a similar comp a couple of games ago. They do have APA Shockwave start. And honestly, I'm gonna make the call, Matt. I would say I like this draft more than anything else Barrage have shown today. This is my favorite Barrage draft so far. However, a lot of that is around the top half of it. Jinx, Braum is fine, I guess. It's solid.
My only reservation is that so far we've seen Barrage have success by playing very traditional front-to-back team fights with a strong front line. They don't have that this game. Obviously, Camille is squishy as hell, and Fnatic is not going to be building full tank on Hecarim if he wants to win the game. So, these fights are going to have to be lightning quick and incredibly decisive in order for them to win them. Because as soon as they get drawn out, we've seen this before for Barrage, that's when mistakes get made. That is when their team fight just suddenly falls apart. It's all in the combos, I feel like.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Barrage certainly have faith in their synced-up team fights, so it is in keeping with that. One of their coaches, analysts, I don't know what his title is. I know it's not coach, which you gave to him earlier today.
Because you gave it to him first!
Okay, well, anyway.
Coach Lucian is who we should be shouting out for the coach.
Right, but Coach Lucian did not give us a sick quote. That was returned, and he said that he thought they were the best team-fighting team in Challengers Uprising. And we did have that backed up, to name names. One Matthew Cubby Samuelson was like, yeah, I agree with that. So we'll see if Barrage can capitalize on that, because this is a somewhat teamfight-reliant composition they have drafted. Indeed, if they manage to execute on those team fights, they will be unstoppable, but I'm not sure they will get to that phase, because SolaFide have been so darn good at denying every single opportunity in the games previously.
Well, I think there may be a little bit of a reversal of that this game, because speaking of one Matthew Cubby Samuelson, he slid into my DMs real quick to remind me that Braum E can stop Zeyzal's cask from hitting anyone else. So that is something I literally did not consider because I have never seen that interaction before. So
As a Braum main, I have, but I'm too bad to hit it regularly, so I didn't think about it.
okay. So you didn't consider it. Got it.
Yeah, I was just like, what? I will still say I would have preferred the Leona, and I know that that's a really good reason, especially in this bot lane. It's going to make it harder for Zeyzal to pull Gorka out, go fishing as he was during previous games. However, I would have preferred them having more engaged for the mid game, because we have yet to see Gorka get blown out of lane. We have not yet seen Barrage just get bullied out of lane to the extent that they don't get to play. In fact, we've seen several games where Apollo quite tangibly loses lane to this Jinx. But then where we are struggling, if we are Barrage fans, I'm using a collective we here, then is the mid game where Barrage can't force a team fight to save their life, and I would have preferred they draft towards solving that. But it is a matter of prioritization, and if Barrage believe they have solved that mid-game problem between APA, between the Hack Room Camille, then who am I to doubt Coach Lucian?
I'm scared about this Victor. But TJ, while we have... Oh, never mind. We've got a gank coming up here from Fnatic. Looking for the dive with the TP.
Oh, TP as well. Fnatic into the back lines. Winter finds the stun. Apollo so very low. Apollo is gone. Here comes the TP. Zeyzal onto PCL. Dokla over the top, but even with the turret shot, SolaFide cannot find a trade. Barrage get first blood, and it will be an unanswered first blood.
Really good from Barrage. This is the early game they pretty much had last game. But this time a little bit slower to start, a little bit safer to start. Really good TP from PCL. This is what I feel like his play has been missing for the past several games. We have seen before PCL has good instincts with teleports, but we haven't seen a lot of that. We saw the one fight.
I was ooh-hoo-hooing at APA getting bullied out of mid lane, which is sure is happening to him. Victor quite good into Orianna, especially during these early levels.
TJ, now that we have a few seconds, are you ready for your daily Matthew Cubby Samuelson fact?
Sure.
Rafa has told me, our lovely host, that Cubby was a former Grandmaster Braum one trick.
I knew that about Matt.
He was arguably the best Braum on the server, and I think he was like the highest rated at one point. I did not know that.
I did a cast with him. This was when you were sick. I did a cast with him for SoFi, where he was like, well, you know, I know a lot about Braum, but I was like, how much? And he was like, well.
You have fallen into my trap. Allow me to espouse about Braum facts. He doesn't talk like that.
We gotta, I mean, he would if he could. The only reason Cubby doesn't talk like that is because he didn't think he'd get away with it.
I think he could. This bottom lane, hold on. That's a huge CS lead coming out for Gorica. We have not seen a large laning differential between these two bot lanes this entire series. So one thing I want to highlight, we have seen, sure, one of the bot lanes ahead, but it's never been through straight up just CS.
Oh,
PCL.
Small Dokes! Denied! And Fnatic is just waiting in this bush. Ready to bail him out. What a good rotate. Okay, Winston Tuesday, both up here. APA still in mid. We'll be catching on momentarily. I think that information, that catching on was communicated. PCL and Fnatic are told, yo, there's like 5 people up there. And so they stay safe.
Hey, I'm not that great at counting, but this is more than there should be, right? Nothing was really gained off that, though, by Barrage. So it was kind of like a risk-free play from SolaFide. There was a shove in from APA, but has only been able to establish like a 3 CS lead from that. So it's not massive.
Waiting, lurking in the red buff bush. Will pop out, steal the red buff, and walk away.
I feel that, Fnatic. Just hoping beyond all hopes that you're the one who can actually smite your red buff. Unfortunately not, my friend. Oh, Winter.
That was a really long-range Q. Oh, and he gets another nice Winter's fight.
Why they call it Winter's Bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More of your jokes.
Shockwave.
Oh, Shockwave won't find the kill shortly. Flash
APA
underneath the turret! That's not it!
What are you doing?
He can't find it! This isn't it, Chief!
No!
He didn't plan ahead at all, Matt!
The command attack was so close to hitting. Oh, God, this was tragic. Okay, so it starts off really great, gets the
Feel good.
shockwave. Tuesday's like 3 autos from death from here. 1,
Flash
for 2.
Oh, almost. Wow, that's 2. But
Where's 3?
APA's like, what do I do now?
Find the kill. But
He
it's
should
just out of range.
just committed to chasing Tuesday. I don't think he could have gotten it, but
Well, I think if you commit to chasing Tuesday, you can toss the command attack in, and
I think Tuesday would have been able to slip into the jungle.
he'll tell you to draft Malphite and get a kill.
APA draft Malphite, yeah. Barrage, in spite of that, will get the first drake of the game.
I am appreciating this game because this is the first early game where we haven't been screaming our heads off for like 7 minutes straight.
That is, were you not?
I said for 7 minutes straight, not
Also,
for little instances.
warm up your voice because Rift Arrow is taken here to the top side. And cool your voice back down because PCL sword coming.
Because it's just fine. Everything's fine. This is a really fast turret tick. We've seen 2 of these now from SolaFide, where they get the Rift Herald and immediately find a tower where they can slap it down and take it first. Both times it's been top lane, so they've been really prioritizing getting Dokla ahead. And I will say, the times when it has been most advantageous was when he was last on Gnar.
Fnatic here to the top side. Hextech Ultimatum will be dropped. It is the smallest of dokes, the tiniest of dokes.
Taken down. The height of his laning prowess. 0-1-0 now. Is up 26 CS on PCL, but PCL's got 2 kills in the bag, so that's working out pretty well there for Dokla. The problem now is going to be, of course, what do you do with your extra time? You know, if PCL decides to just like freeze the wave back around the tower, back behind the tower maybe, what do you do as Dokla? You can't split push just yet, so you have to contribute elsewhere on the map. Fortunately for Dokla, PCL is just still pushing.
Yep, PCL will force attention in that top side. TP's on both top laners. So, you can keep your eye on that as we spoil for a Drake fight in a couple of minutes.
It was really good from PCL, though. You can see that it's unfreezable there for Dokla.
Yep. PCL will reset.
Oh, it's
Barrage
I was wrong.
have managed to eke out quite a solid early game. SolaFide have the lead right now. That's off of the back of the top lane pressure they've been able to earn. Despite being down in kills, they are well ahead in gold, I believe, on that top side. Also, a ton of jungle dominance out from Winston, who isn't normally the source of gold leads, but he's done a really good job.
Wow. That CS differential, 26. That's crazy. This is a really strong early game from SolaFide. I know our analysts were feeling the power of Barrage for a little bit there, but SolaFide are taking the early game in stride once again. Off the back of Winston, who I have to say is like the most improved player on either of these 2 teams.
I don't want to phrase it like that, because he was never bad. But he was always inconsistent in Academy. I will say, this is a much better baseline.
Dokla in trouble, will be taken down by Fnatic, who survives for the time being.
Caster minions!
As is
Winston!
No!
All it takes is a single slap. Winston will confirm the kill, and that is a 1-for-1 trade on the top side, and I believe they take those.
I also want to say this is a really interesting series for me personally, because a lot of times when you're losing games, we see adaptation bans come out, and really this series we've only seen one, which is Barrage starting to ban away the Tahm Kench or Senna, but both teams seem really happy with the type of composition they're running and are just tweaking one or two things here or there between games. I think it's really cool to see.
Winston, they have figured out your plan. Flash over the top. APA will be stunned up. The entire team is here. Glacial Fissure. Can PCL bail him out? No, PCL will be able to chain him down and confirm the kill.
So now it feels like Barrage are just trying to get PCL as ahead as possible. And yeah, Dokla's farming up a storm. But PCL 3-0-1 now has the Divine Sunderer. And this means you have a split push presence on the map that can match the Gnar. That is the most important part about this development in the top lane. Because Dokla, the last time this happened where Dokla got ahead, he was pretty much uncontested in the solo split push for a while. And we've seen that a few times this series. But now to have PCL intentionally set so far ahead while the rest of the map is basically doing fine means that they don't have to worry about that constant pressure coming out of top. And they can focus on places like mid, like bottom, like this dragon that's spawning in just 3 seconds.
Yeah, we touched on it earlier. There are TPs available for PCL and Dokla. So there will be very likely a full contest from Barrage around this. The only question is whether or not SolaFide opt into it. They do still have a gold lead. See how that manifests. So far, SolaFide able to lock down the dragon, able to pick it up. Winston still scary enough. There will be no contest. Barrage do not, in fact, go for the fight.
I really like this adaptation from Gorica. Look at those items right now. This entire series, they have been going Kraken Slayer first, but I like seeing the Gale Force out because it gives you a lot of in-team fight positioning really quickly. It's basically a second flash, and that's something that Gorica has been missing.
Apollo. PCL is on in. Hextech ultimation will be dropped. Apollo is nailed by the rocket. That is just beautiful stuff, Matt.
Really is. That's the kind of Jinx rockets you wish you could have. Now 0-0-2 on this Jinx. Gorica is going to try and take down this tower. So we see in the top side, Winston's going to be taking that Rift Herald, but no problemo here for Barrage. They have taken their own first tower of the game.
Man, that was so slick. That was like
just the pre-planned ultimate into the path with the Hextech ultimatum froze him.
Yeah, it was just every part of that was well communicated. That is that's a clip you're proud of, Barrage. Post that to Twitter. Tuesday, we'll chase Fnatic away from the jungle, but not before Fnatic manages to eke out some CS, which is important. TPs to chase. This is Dokla. Right on in. 1v3 for Dokla till Winston catches up. Then, there will be a player advantage here.
Gorica
Barrage needs to get out.
Finds the way out. Gale Force, baby. Woo!
Oh, behind the turret? Don't do that. Okay.
No. They backed off. It's fine. I think this is giving APA an advantage in the mid lane, though. All the times that Tuesday has been roaming, APA has just been getting free farm, and now PCL as well, starting to catch up in that farm count. So I think really the more times Barrage survive those ganks, even if barely, the better.
We will see that Rift Herald be summoned down in the bottom side. Is going to slam into the turret, eventually be chewed down by Gorica. Shockwave.
Winston down but not out. Just a quarter HP left, which will slow down this turret push. Winter tries to find the Winter's Bite, but will not.
Looks like Winter is not biting today, Matt.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Is that the right kind of laugh you were looking for?
Yeah, it was kind of perfect, actually.
Okay.
Because Gragas, the Santa Gragas was on the screen at that exact moment, and I was like, everything's coming together.
Glad I can make your dreams come true, Vegan.
Oh, that's CS from Dokla, Matt.
Clean.
You see that?
My favorite clip of all time is Lulu queuing the wave, getting just like the entire thing.
I was just, he like, out of the Mega Nars had grabbed the fight. I just really liked it.
Yeah, it was nice.
Apollo.
We sometimes lose sight of the fun little micro plays, you know?
Apollo will be shoving in here in the mid. They've kind of transitioned him out of that bottom lane where there are no turrets to keep him safe. Apollo is very much the ideal carry for SolaFide. We're ramping up. If this game feels slow to you, it's because we're ramping up towards a mid-game both teams feel they can out-team fight the other in. Which is good news for anyone who's watching and wants to see an absolute banger. You're not going to have too many risks taken during this phase. We're just building towards all 5v5s come mid.
Fnatic just has not had a red buff this entire game. Been stolen away every time by Winston. PCL needs to get the hell out of here.
Thrown back, Hextech ultimate, misses the hook shot. Winston slaps him down. Will
Apollo's down!
He gets Apollo underneath the turret.
Okay, PCL, okay, get it. That was beautiful. Able to trade 1-for-1 in a 1 versus 4 and getting the 80 carry no less. 0, 3, and 1 now for Apollo Price.
Spots an opportunity, says, I missed my hook shot, but I'm not going to miss this. And Apollo dies with flash, with heal up, just couldn't react in time.
To be fair, who would expect that? You see a Camille miss the hook shot in the opposite direction. My first thought would not be, she's about to flash kill me. I've seen this one before.
Shout out to Camille Q. Really is a hell of an ability.
Just taking 700 true damage. Here's
Double
the
TP's
5v5.
in. This is around the Drake. 5v5, as you say, being set up for.
They are looking for it. Winston has flash available. Should be looking for an engage here on the side. APA dodging out very carefully with that Banshee's Veil. They're both playing on a knife's edge because they're waiting for the fight to break out. Tuesday shove.
APA zoning there, scaring Dokla back. Watch PCL having to drift back out of this fight, roaming to stop the mid-shove from Tuesday. That makes this all the more complicated as Zeyzal and Apollo both say, hey, we can just drag them all out of here, focus in on the turret. That turret's very low now. What did Barrage do? They're going to lose their turret or APA, maybe both.
In fact, neither, TJ, as they finally find a way to zone Winston and Dokla off.
That
their
turret's
mid
gone.
laner.
Oh no. Brief pause. I believe we've skimmed over it again. He is still in this game. Drake is up. Scouted by True Shot. Winston on the other side of the wall. Won't try and steal it. Drake is secure for Barrage.
That was the most team fight, non-team fight I have ever seen. It was really good posturing from SolaFide, trying to force the decision between, okay, you can either take this fight, you can defend the mid lane, and off the mispositioning that caused, trying to find APA. APA, unfortunately, just ran really fast and had a Banshee's Veil. And, like, that was the end of the diversion play. And from there, Barrage just turned onto the Drake and was able to take it.
Really, really good times for Barrage. They trade a turret for Drake. I think they take those. That's how their mid-game goes. Pressure in mid. Apollo on the run will be zoned back. Fnatic is waiting in the wings, and they find the glacial fissure. Shockwave denies entry. Fnatic still goes. Will find the kill.
Apollo is down. Fnatic's back in. Winston chasing down onto him. Tuesday in the back as well. PCL getting stunned up. Hextech ultimatum dashes out of it to safety. Winter is low, but still getting out of there. Saves himself with the wall. APA, though, not as lucky. The slam from Dokla turns the fight and gets SolaFide a quick fight win.
Dokla redives, makes it a 3-for-2 trade. SolaFide do not win behind their own turret, and so they must answer in kind. Shockwave just completely denies any kind of follow-through. That was beautiful stuff. Fnatic gets stunned out here in the jungle, staying alive, and then check this out from Dokla. It is genuinely one of the prettiest engages I have ever seen. Boom!
I love seeing Flash Meganars. They're always clean, and they've gotten so much better over the years. I remember, like, the first Flash Gnar I saw was the most lazy, disgusting thing I've ever seen. I could do it. And then these new ones, it's just like mid-jump, they flash, and then suddenly they're slammed against the wall. Dokla, clean play.
Real good timing. Able to grab the Barrage members retreating from the turret dive. And the result of this Is the gold lead still resting with SolaFide?
SolaFide feeling pretty confident in this one. Remember, this is match point. If SolaFide are able to take this one home, they make their way into finals. So they have everything riding on this game. And so far, it's looking good for them. Outside of the bottom lane, they have leads. They have gold. Sure, PCL's fed, but so's Dokla, with plenty of farm to back it up. Winston's doing great. Tuesday is dominating this game, 3-0-1. So SolaFide are in a great position at the moment.
PCL will get away from his opponent down bottom. The only objective on the map right now is the Baron. So it is Barrage's map to play. We'll see if they can force any of those team fights they love without an objective advantage.
We have a second to reset as Winston clearing out the vision around the Baron, which is likely going to be the next place they fight, if it is not around this Infernal Drake. Dokla getting chased down. Here comes PCL. Here comes Fnatic. Hextech ultimatum into the back. Dokla is low, has the Meganar, but won't get to use it. Tuesday goes
Stun.
in. Gravity storm on Fnatic. Fnatic is down. PCL can't find it. Flashes over the wall. Tuesday's low. Hookshot wall dive would kill him, but PCL not going to go for it. Doesn't want to risk it. Doesn't find it. Winter not going to be able to save the top laner of Barrage, but they are still chasing, TJ.
Yeah, Gorka for the front line, will blast forward, can't find the kill. Matt, what was that true shot?
I don't know. It was so good.
SolaFide playing on another level all of a sudden, are able to make it a 1-for-1, no 1-for-2 trade at the end of the day, thanks to incredible coordination.
So let's break it back down. The initial pick here was PCL and Fnatic onto Dokla, and they got it very low. Almost got to Meganar from here. But Tuesday comes in, True Shot Barrage into the gravity field. So clean.
What? How do you calculate that? Then Tuesday drops into stasis, says, I've got my friends coming, it's going to be fine. And PCL, despite the best efforts of a dive, is intercepted by Zeyzal, denied on entry, and Winter can do nothing but watch.
Off the back of that, Barrage are probably feeling a little rattled. What was once a all but guaranteed pick turned into a very extended team fight that they did not get a pretty end of. 8 seconds now until the Infernal Drake spawns. This would be soul point for Barrage.
This would be the third Drake in Barrage's pocket, giving them a win condition they desperately need on the map. And it looks like they're going to get it. Winston is over the wall, does have vision of this, will not contest, because the rest of SolaFide, Matt, have turned and run towards the Baron.
They're looking to set up. They have cleared the vision out of the red buff. Aren't going to go for it just yet. They would rather try and bait it here and reset. Some items I suspect there for Tuesday as he's backing. Pig's going out from across the map wondering what's up with the Baron. Turns out nothing. Don't worry about it, Barrage.
Oh, good lord, Matt. I can't take this any longer. This semi-final is nuts. What a game for.
And it's so interesting for me because SolaFide, their entire game plan has been carry through Apollo. Get Apollo fed. Get Apollo ahead. He's 0-4. He is not the primary carry this game, and they're still doing great.
It might be Saturday, but in the Rift, it's a Tuesday, mate. Baron, half HP. Gorka and APA over the wall do a vision. Always plan ahead, is in trouble. Zeyzal intercepts him, has to flash away. TPs will be coming through.
TP from PCL will not find anything. Hookshot wall dive out to escape. Tuesday looking to be pincered here by PCL. Finds the tactical sweep. There goes Hextech ultimatum, but too far out. Goes Shockwave into the Shockwave. Fnatic in the backline doing as much damage as possible, and Gorica just popping off. Carry after carry has fallen, and Gorica remains. Barrage take the fight and turn to Baron.
That was the best team fight Barrage have had all series, and it comes exactly when they need it, right up against elimination. PCL over the wall, finds the lockdown, and guess what follows? Infinite Rage, Winter's Bite, follow-up, Shockwave, 3 people locked down. Fnatic chews through the ball, and just like that, Gorka can clean up the remains. Barrage will get the Baron, and I do not believe it. They may take us to Game 5.
I thought this game was in the pocket of SolaFide for so long. but they have caught this one up incredibly well from Barrage, turning it in just one fight, turning it into a Baron. The gold lead is back in their favor. After what felt like an eternity of being down, they are now up. Merely 600 gold, but that is a far cry from where they were just minutes ago.
I am astonished by the resilience of both these teams, but Barrage in particular. We talked about them as maybe one of the biggest hopes for, I don't want to say true amateur talent this year, but I'm going to say amateur mainstays. And here they are absolutely going toe-to-toe. Dokla with an engage in mid. This is huge. Winston to follow through. Will be zoned away. That was true shot. That was Dokla. Oh, he's so far forward.
Dokla in trouble, gets blown up, and Fnatic goes into the backline. There's the shockwave to follow it up. PCL finds another, flashes out. Winston now on the run, and Barrage find another team fight win.
All the cannons are firing now, Mac. The barrage is underway, and it is a dive through mid lane, Baron in hand, as Dokla gets over-aggressive. And I do think we are going to that game 5.
It is really looking like it, TJ. This should be the last push of the game. Gorica pushing in, finds the inhib tower. Fnatic diving forward, going to be stunned up there by Winston. But Apollo's down, Gorica firing away, Winston falls. So does the mid inhib tower.
That's it. I don't believe it. That is it. Zeyzal trying to zone things back. We'll have a TP in return. Here are the inhib. It's now being taken. And last stand is prepped for by SolaFide.
Gorica still alive, going to be able to stay safe in the backline. Fnatic dives in, finds damage. Tuesday not down just yet, but the last one standing.